don't even know what to say right now. I'm at a loss for words. I'm still on edge. I'm still edgy, you know. I'm jumpy. I'm just, oh my god. This episode really affected me. This really affected me. One of the most intense things I've ever watched on TV in my life, ever. I'll try to get to this review, guys. All right, let's just get the review, okay? I have so much to discuss. Hey guys, what's up? It's all about Mike 18 here with another TV episode review, guys. This is a very special TV episode review. I could literally not wait all day until I got home. I was out all day, and I couldn't wait till I get home to watch this mid-season finale to find out what was going to happen. It was killing me all day, and now that I've seen it, I'm upset that it's over, that the show's over and won't come back for a couple months, and I'm also just mind blown by what happened on tonight's episode. So guys, I'm going to be reviewing the mid-season finale of one of my personal favorite TV shows on television right now. That is The Walking Dead. I'm a big fan, guys, and I just watched the mid-season finale literally about 20 minutes ago, and here I am with my review. This episode is burning on my mind. I cannot get it out of my head. I don't know how I'm going to function with what I do tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to do it. My mind's going to be wandering all day long with what just happened tonight, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know. Guys, I'm going to be reviewing the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead. This episode is Season 4, Episode 8, Too Far Gone. And, man, do I have a lot to discuss, guys. Of course, this is spoiler-heavy. Like, literally, if you watch this episode, there's no point in even watching the show anymore because I'm going to ruin the whole thing for you. I really am. I'm going to discuss everything that happened tonight. I have a lot of topics I have to get into and a lot of story plot points I want to discuss with you guys. I want to know your thoughts on this episode, guys. Please share with me down below. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this episode. And this is it, guys. I'm not going to be reviewing TV episodes anymore because The Walking Dead is now over till February, so I'll be reviewing the new episodes when they come back on in February. But until then, no more TV reviews for me because I'm really not watching anything else that's on TV right now that's big. So anyway, guys, as I normally do my TV episode reviews, I usually just talk to you guys in front of the camera and talk about the episode. But tonight I literally took notes. I always take notes. I take notes every single time I watch a TV episode, and I study them, and then I talk about them in front of the camera. Tonight, guys, I'm just going to read off my notes. I apologize for that. That is very unprofessional. I apologize highly. That's not me. You guys know me. If you watch my TV episode reviews, you know I never, ever do that. I never read off my notes. But with what happened on tonight's episode, I'm sorry. I can't help it. I have to read off my notes. I cannot. I just can't comprehend every single thing that happened on tonight's episode. I have to watch the episode again. I will. But the episode's burning on my mind. That's why I'm going to do this review right now. So, guys, again, I apologize for reading. I will glance down at my notes a couple times throughout the review. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it, guys. I've already wasted 3 minutes. So, tonight's episode, guys, is one of the best, hands down, one of the best episodes of The Walking Dead I've personally ever watched. I'm at a loss for words, as I've mentioned. But tonight's episode started off with the governor. He was confronting his group. As we all know, he found a new group. And he throws out the idea of better chances of survival. Of course, he wants to take the prisoners. We all know in the end of last week's episode, he set his sights on the prison, found Herschel and Michonne burning those bodies, getting ready to burn those bodies. He lifted his gun up to the camera, and they cut the episode off like that. And with the end of that scene, that picks up right where tonight's episode begins, and it turns out Herschel confronted them. He knocked Michonne out, held Herschel up at gunpoint, and took the two of them captive. So now he has the two of them with him at his campsite, and now he's talking to his group, and he wants to take the prison. He's like, you know what, it's a safe haven. It's definitely will ensure their survival. I'm looking down at my notes, guys. And tells them he kidnapped two members of the prison group, and he wants to take the prison, and they're going to be a lot better off. That's basically what he wants. And we all know another one of his motives. He obviously has a vendetta against the prison. He is pissed off with most of them, especially Michonne. And he obviously wants to, take this prison, this safe haven, away from them for his group. But again, he claims he has his reasons. He wants to keep his group safe. He tells that Lily chick, the girl he's starting a relationship with, he's like, you know what, I'm doing this for you. I want to keep you and Megan, your daughter, safe. I can't wait to talk about that. I'm going to keep the two of you safe. And that's why he's doing this for them. So we think. That's what he says. And while he's talking to his group, telling them, we got to take this prison, he makes them sound kind of bad. He says, they burned down Woodbury. They did not burn down Woodbury. And here's the thing. He's deceiving them, and they have no clue he's doing it because they don't know his past. He's telling them lies. He's feeding them lies, several lies. One of them was saying that they burned Woodbury down, which is absolutely not true. You can argue that they led to the end of Woodbury, but I'm going to move on. Like I said, his group doesn't know the truth of his past. Kind of sweet talks Lily into letting him, into supporting his decision to go after the prison. And he leaves Lily and Megan behind at this lake, where he takes the whole rest of his group, which is composed of like these army guys. He's got some army guys. He's got that terror girl, Lily's sister, these other few people who know how to use a gun. And, they got trucks, they got tanks, and they head off. But before that happens, the governor confronts Herschel and Michonne, who he has captive, and Herschel throws around the idea of them living together, and he's saying, this we don't have to go down this path, we don't have to fight, and obviously the governor feels that's not an option. He's like, I'm not going to live with Michonne, I'm not living with Rick, that's not going to happen. And I love how in that scene Michonne tells him, she's just like flat out says, I'm going to kill you, and I can't wait to talk about that, okay? I will definitely get into that. Governor wants to get into the prison. He says he just wants his group safe. And he's going to use Herschel and Michonne to do so. And I knew once he captured Herschel and Michonne, things are not going to look good for the both of them. And I especially felt that something was off with Herschel. I don't know. I felt that Herschel was very unsafe tonight. Let's just put it that way. Just a part of me felt... I don't know. Something about Herschel, man. I don't know. But anyway, guys, moving on. Then the story cuts back to everyone at the prison. Glenn and Sasha are healing. As we all know, they just dealt with that virus thing. They're getting over it. They're healing up. Rick tells Daryl that he banished Carol. We finally see Rick telling Daryl that he banished Carol. Daryl was actually really pissed about that, and I expected that. I think we all expected that. What did you guys think about it? I knew Daryl was going to be pissed. But Rick's like, I had to. He tells Daryl, I had to. Tyrese would have flipped out. He would have probably tried to kill Carol. So, Rick and Daryl decide to go over and tell Tyrese that Carol killed Karen. And Carol killed that other guy. And just as they're about to do that, they hear like a boom. Dust falls down like from the prison. They run outside. Rick, Tyrese, Sasha, Daryl, Maggie, the whole group, Carl, Bob Stuckey, they all run out, Beth, and they see all the trucks on the outer fence of the prison. You see the governor, they also see the tank. The tank is the thing that fired that shot. It hit one of the watchtowers, I believe. They fired at one of the watchtowers. The governor is standing on top of the tank, and he calls for Rick to come down and meet him, and he wants to talk with him. And as soon as this part of the episode happened, I literally started getting chills. And I literally had chills throughout the whole entire episode. This episode was the definition of an intense episode of television that I literally just could not even focus on. I was taking notes the whole entire episode. As soon as the governor arrived at the prison, I stopped taking notes because I was literally riveted and I was on the edge of my seat throughout the whole rest of the episode. I honestly was. Now, this scene is very crucial. The governor's here. He calls down for Rick, and Rick's like, you know what, I'm not really the leader anymore. We got a council going on over here. And then the governor yells out, is Herschel on that council? And then he has his men bring out Herschel. And he's like, what about Michonne? Is she on that council? He brings out Michonne. They're both tied up, and he puts them on the ground. So Rick's like, oh, crap. They're screwed. They have hostages. Beth and Maggie are upset that they took Herschel. The governor took Herschel, their father. And Rick's going to come down and meet face-to-face with the governor. So that's exactly what happens. Rick walks down to meet the governor. At first, he's kind of hesitant, as I said, because he's really, it's not like he's really that he's not really in charge anymore, you know. He kind of left all, you know, the fate of the prison, all that, kind of in the hands of the council. So Rick goes down to meet with the governor, and he obviously tells Rick, you know, I want the prison. I got these 2 hostages. You have until sundown to hand over the prison. Just leave. He's like, I don't want to kill any. I'm not going to want to kill anyone. I'm going to avoid all of that. And in order for me to do this, you just have to leave the prison. And I'm going to give you Herschel and Michonne back. We just want the prison for our group. That's what he tells Rick. And Rick is just, you know, Rick's disgusting. He says, if you don't give over the prison by sundown, I'm going to kill Herschel and Michonne. And then obviously that's going to lead to a big shootout. So Rick has till sundown to make this decision. And you have this thing going on at the prison. Meanwhile, very important plot points going on back by Lily and Megan. They are by the lake. Megan is playing in the mud. Lily's watching. She's on guard duty. And Lily pulls out this sign that says flash flood warning or whatever, and then a zombie's right beneath her, and it starts to come out of the mud, and it goes to bite Megan, and Megan's screaming out. Lily runs over her as fast as she can, but the zombie bites Megan, and this is the first jaw-dropping moment of the episode, in my opinion. Apart from when the governor took Herschel and Michonne, the zombie bites Megan, and it cuts to commercial. I think that's how it happened. I was shocked. You know, a part of me knew that Megan was going to die, or not that she was going to die, that something bad was going to happen to her in that scene. Something bad was going to happen to both of them in that scene. And the reason why as soon as I saw that zombie, I wanted Megan to get bitten, was because last week she got away from that zombie way too easily, in my opinion. That thing should have bitten her leg, but it didn't. And the difference here is the governor was not here to save her this time. The governor's off at the prison. Now Megan is screwed. She's bitten on the shoulder, and that's it for her. So I was glad that they did that to her. Even I don't care, this little girl, I'm sorry, but last week she escaped from that way too easily. So anyway, back at the prison, Rick does not want to give up the prison. He doesn't. Obviously the governor's not happy about this, and meanwhile everyone back by the prison, everyone's outside. All the prison group is outside. They're always like handing out guns. He's like, you know what, get ready, guys. We're gonna have to. This is probably gonna end ugly. You know, things are not gonna end well here. So Rick suggests living together. He doesn't want to leave the prison. The governor's like, come on, get out of here now before the sun goes down. He shoots like a couple zombies. He's like, you know what? Walkers are going to come around this prison. You can get out now while you have a chance, but Rick doesn't want to leave. So the governor gets off the tank, pulls out Michonne's sword, places it right near Herschel's neck. And Rick's like, no, come on, don't do this. Things are really starting to heat up right now. And at this scene, Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick, really blew me away in this scene with his performance. I would love to see him get some Emmy love for this one scene alone, for this episode alone. He was brilliant in this episode. He gives a heartfelt speech to the governor about, he's trying to obviously stop an eventual slaughter, and he talks about how, we're all not too far gone, the title of the episode. I love the title of this episode, by the way, and that we can come back from, the bad places we've gone to. And then Herschel starts to smile at Rick, and I love this scene because Herschel and Rick talked about this in the first episode of season 4 when Rick had to kill that Clara girl. Rick is talking to Herschel at the end of that episode, and he's like, you know what? I don't know if I could come back from, where I've gone, because he lost it in season 3. And Herschel's like, we can all come back from this. And Rick finally realizes this in this episode, and he tells the governor this, and he's like, we can come back, we're not too far gone. And Herschel has the biggest smile on his face, and the governor, we see everything from the governor's perspective. Things start spinning, he starts looking around, and then he whispers the one word that starts it all. He's like, liar. He takes the sword, slashes Herschel's neck out of nowhere, just cuts his head is like dangling. Everybody is shocked. Everyone at the prison, everyone in the governor's group. Rick is disgusted. He pulls out his magnum, fires at the governor, shoots the governor. The governor and the governor's forces, they shoot Rick. Rick gets to cover, and the shootout happens. Herschel falls down. Michonne is rolling around. She's tied up. And as I'm watching this with my family, by the way. Well, I'm yelling at the TV. I'm like, no! And I love the governor. I love the governor as an antagonist. I'm literally yelling at the TV at this point. Kill him! Kill him! Kill him, please. Oh my god, that was so sick. He killed Herschel. He actually didn't kill Herschel at that point. Herschel is on the ground. Both sides are now firing. Both sides are firing. Maggie and Beth are hysterical, but they're firing. You know, both sides are firing at each other. And this is the shootout we've been waiting for. This is the one that we wanted in the end of last season. We didn't get that. Now we get it in this episode, and I'm so pleased we got it because it was a giant payoff. The prison showdown was fantastic. It was suspenseful. It was... had a lot of great deaths, a lot of great kills. It was brilliant, exactly the way I wanted. I could have not pictured it any other way. So the governor's, rolling around on the ground. Herschel's, crawling around. Michonne cuts her rope off. She frees herself, and the governor goes over to Herschel and just cuts his head off in the grass. And Rick is at cover. Both sides are firing each other, and he tells his group, start digging in, push in with the cars and the tanks. So they start rolling in, they crush through the fences, and they're coming further in, and Lily comes over. She comes to the prison somehow. At this point, I'm like, how the hell did she get there? But okay. She has Megan in her shoulders. Apparently Megan's dead. The governor just takes out his pistol, shoots Megan in the head. I was like, this man is sick. I was just shocked at everything that's happening, and shit gets more crazy, okay? This is not the worst of it, Herschel's dead, and that's crazy as hell, and I love Herschel and all, but shit just gets crazier, alright? So both sides are firing each other. They're trying to get a bus ready to get everyone out. Maggie gets a couple shots in there. Daryl, oh my god, Daryl was such a boss here. So as everyone is moving into the prison, everyone's sweeping in, the governor's, hiding behind cars, shooting at people. Rick is still behind that bus. So they pass that bus and they're right at the front of the prison. And, the prison group is starting to, retreat a little bit, but they're still firing. And Rick pops out of hiding from behind the bus, and him and the governor just start like a fist fight brawl, and they're rolling around in the grass. Zombies are starting to come in the prison. I mean, this shit is so freaking intense. I was losing it, guys. I was absolutely losing my shit tonight. I was shaky. I was speechless. I was speechless as I was watching this whole entire thing unfold. Meanwhile, you got the kids are trying to get Judith out of the prison. Lizzie and her sister and all the rest of the kids that are left. And hold on, guys, give me a second to read my notes. Rick and the governor brawl, I mentioned that. So yeah, it's basically just a shootout for most of the episode with zombies coming in. Bob Stuckey gets shot. He lives though. Who else gets shot? We don't see Tara getting shot. I don't know what happened to her. I have no clue where she went. Absolutely no clue. Carl disappears for like half the shootout. I was like, where the hell is Carl? I was watching it with my dad, and he's like, where the hell is Carl? And oh man, I had such a fun time watching this episode, even though I was just completely riveted. Anyway, guys, moving on. So shootout's continuing. Everyone's pushing back. Maggie runs into the prison to get Glenn out, and everyone else who's sick. They get them all on the bus. All the elderly, because surprisingly there is still some elderly left that obviously they can't fight. And the bus takes off. Maggie has to get off the bus because she's running around looking for Beth. At this point, I thought Maggie was going to get it because she was going to be on Talking Dead. But Maggie doesn't. Maggie lives. Maggie, Stuckey, and Sasha all escape. Tyrese, I haven't talked about Tyrese. Tyrese is meanwhile involved. He's shooting, of course. They all leave. We haven't seen Beth. Judith is missing. The kids are missing. Tyrese is there. He's firing. And Tyrese is screwed at this one point. He's like trapped. And Lizzie and the sister are holding guns up. They shoot two of the governor's group. Two women of the governor's group. I think two women. One of those women was Tara's lesbian girlfriend. And I was like, what? Carol taught them well. By the way, Carol did not come in this episode. That was okay. She's definitely going to come back next season without a doubt. She's going to see how everyone's dead, and she'll learn about everything that happened. But anyway, so Tyrese and the girls, like, they get away. Everyone is just like scrambling now because the bus is gone. Everyone's scrambled now. Everyone's leaving the prison because zombies are starting to come in. The governor's group is just dying. You know, they're dying off. They're getting killed off. Daryl is just like in this one spot. He's just picking everybody off because Daryl's such a freaking boss. And he literally, a zombie's coming up behind him. He literally takes the zombie, kills it while he's firing at the governor's group, and uses it as a freaking shield to, you know, advance and kill the governor's group. And meanwhile, Rick and the governor are still battling it out in the field, and the governor has Rick on the floor. He's just beating the shit out of him. Rick's face is purple. Rick is gasping, and the governor's like strangling him. And I'm like, something is gonna happen to them. And I'm like, wait, where's Michonne? And then out of nowhere, Michonne got her sword back, stabs the governor right through the stomach. You literally see the blade coming right through his stomach. And he falls down and dies. No, doesn't die yet. He's literally on the floor. Michonne helps Rick up. And I knew something was going to happen to him, but I just wasn't ready for it. I honestly thought he was going to make it out of tonight. So the governor's on the floor. He's dying. Michonne has her sword. Rick, you know, is like, you know, stumbling away. He's looking for Carl. Shootout's pretty much over at this point. Daryl blows up a tank because he's a boss. And, Michonne goes to the governor, and she's about to kill him, and she's like, nope. She leaves him, and he's just rolling around on the floor. He's gasping for breath, and Lily comes over, and I'm like, who's gonna kill him? And she comes over with the gun, and I'm like, what? Shoots him in the head. Lily shoots the governor in the head, and I was so happy she did. And we see the chest piece at the end. I'm glad she did because he shot Megan right in the head, and I was so happy about that. I mean, the governor has just been such a fantastic antagonist. I've loved him as an antagonist, but then he just is so good. He makes us all hate him, and I hated him in this episode. And when he died, it really was a payoff. It really was. I was really impressed with that. So anyway, guys, the governor's dead. Herschel is dead. A lot of people have died. Daryl kills Mitch, and Daryl runs off. Rick finds Carl. And the big question is, where's Judith? That's the first thing Rick asks Carl. Where's Judith? They find the baby basket, and Judith is gone. And I said, oh no, where is Judith? And a part of me knows Judith is still alive. I know a zombie didn't get her. I know she's still out there. What do you guys think about that? That's another one of my biggest questions. Do you guys think Judith is still out there? So at the very last shot of the episode, Rick and Carl are running off into the fort. Not running. Rick is like limping because he's had the shit beaten out of him. Michonne gets away, I think. We have no clue what happened to Tara. No clue what happened to Lily. Zombies were all around that area, so I'm guessing they got bitten. I don't know. I doubt they got away. They didn't show anything like that. We have no clue what happened to Judith. And Rick and Carl just limp off into the forest. And Carl looks back, and Rick's like, don't look back. And then they just end it with the final shot of the prison, and the prison's done. The tank gets shot the prison up, and it's over. That's the whole episode, guys. I am still just freaking mind blown. I loved it, guys. I absolutely loved every second of it. It was the showdown we were all wanted, and I think it was worth the wait, really, guys. I know we wanted it back in last March when we really should have gotten it, but we got it tonight, guys. And I don't think I can find anyone that'll be upset with this shootout tonight, the prison showdown. I really don't think anyone would be upset with it. So, guys, tonight's episode was just beautiful. Without a doubt, this episode gets my highest rating of a 10 out of 10. It is, without question, one of the best episodes of The Walking Dead I have ever watched. It is probably the most suspenseful episode of The Walking Dead I've ever seen. It's the episode that literally I had chills throughout the whole entire thing. I was shaking. I was speechless. I was yelling at my TV when the governor was escaping and when Michonne, was, running around trying to free herself. I was just... I was shell-shocked by this episode. I was just mind blown, and I still am mind blown, and I can't wait to go watch it again. I'm going to go watch the whole thing again. I can't wait, guys. Everything was right about this episode. The writing, the fact that they killed off the governor and Herschel, two major characters, is such a humongous shock. I don't know how we're going to live without Herschel now, because a lot of people have been like, oh, Herschel is the moral center. Yes, he really has been. But now we're going to have to learn to make do without Herschel. I wonder who the new moral center will be. Maybe a new character. We're going to have a new antagonist now that the governor is dead. Still have no clue where Carol is. But anyway, getting back to what I loved about tonight's episode, the writing was flawless. It really was. Whenever you can have a TV episode that literally keeps you on the edge of your seat and literally just has you speechless throughout the whole entire thing, and has you shaking and just fidgeting around and just completely mind blown. I gotta praise this episode. The writing was beautiful. The direction, whoever the hell directed this episode, thumbs up. The shootout was amazing. Very well filmed. Cinematography was absolutely gorgeous tonight, guys, and the score, of course, as always. This episode was just everything I wanted with The Walking Dead, and this episode has definitely made me just appreciate the show a hell of a lot more, and it makes me aware that The Walking Dead is by far one of the most intense shows out there. It really is. It's a fantastic thriller, and I loved every single second of this episode, guys. It's definitely one of my favorite episodes of all time of The Walking Dead, for sure, and it's probably one of the most suspenseful hours of television I've ever watched, alongside half of the episodes I've seen in Breaking Bad. That's it, guys. That's really all I have to say. I think I basically discussed everything. I'm sorry if I basically just talked about the plot, but this, guys, this is a discussion video where I can just really just talk about every single thing that happened and show my excitement. That's what I tried to do in this video. I tried to show my excitement and how much I love this episode, and I hope you guys can leave your same feelings down below. Guys, let me know down below in the comments, what did you think of tonight's episode? If anyone down below says, I hated this episode, I'm blocking you. I'm going to do something to you, okay? Just let me know what you thought of this episode, guys. Please let me know what you thought of it. It was just brilliant, without a doubt. Let me know, what did you think of Herschel's death? What did you think of the governor's death? What do you think? Where do you think Judith is? Answer a couple questions I asked throughout the video. What do you think is in store for the prison group now? Are they going to find another shelter, a safe haven? Are they all split up for good? Are they going to, meet together at some point? Who do you think is going to be the new antagonist for the show? Did Lily and Tara survive? Not that I really give a shit. All these unanswered questions. Where is Judith? All these questions, guys. Answer them all down below. Leave me your thoughts on the whole entire episode. Whole thing, guys. Let me know down below any of your thoughts on the whole entire episode. And give me a rating as well. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review. Sorry that it's so long. Sorry I was a little unprofessional with the notes. But I'm still speechless, guys. So thanks a lot for watching. Bye.